So really there's not, the only gank path would be for Lee Sin to walk down the lane. As we look at the CS right now, it's a little smaller than usual, but fairly even game. You see that Vayne is beating Caitlyn slightly, and Irelia is beating Tryndamere slightly, but the fact of the matter is it's almost dead even. I'm a little surprised to see both Zilean and Brand have very low CS, but there's been a lot of action mid, so that's likely the result of that is they're running around, going for kills, you know, attacking each other, so they're not farming as effectively as they could be. And Lee Sin actually does see that his red was stolen by Nocturne earlier. So Nocturne definitely taking a lead in this game. Bot lane's done a pretty good job of keeping away from the damage of the Vayne and the Alistar. That's really what you want to do. You know, Caitlyn and Soraka, that's a farm lane. You want to just sit there and farm. She really shouldn't be standing up against that wall too closely, because a roll and then a punch from Vayne, or spear, I don't know what it's called, spear shot maybe, you know, will knock you against that wall. Then Alistar comes in, pulverize, headbutt you back. Very quickly you could be in a situation you really don't want to be in. And the ultimate from Irelia going off onto Tryndamere, throwing out some good damage. He's probably at about 300 or 400 health right now. When the health bar does update. Brand chasing after Zilean, he gets the bomb and is able to walk away okay. But going back to bot lane, Caitlyn's farming pretty effectively, and they're doing a good job of not allowing this Alistar to get involved in this lane. Of course, as the game progresses, it'll be interesting to see Alistar, the very strong teamfight champion with his initiate and, you know, just general tankiness and disruption, versus Soraka with the heals, trying to counter that burst from the enemy team. They do have good sustained damage though with both Irelia and Vayne, so the matchup's fairly even as far as team comp. It'll really come down to how the play goes, and a lot of it'll be who's controlling buffs and Dragon early in this game. And so far no one's really gone after Dragon. It is a little bit early, but we'll probably see that play soon. As we look at the CS, you see that Nocturne does, excuse me, just had a delicious chicken pot pie, and I am stuffed to the rafters. Nocturne, he does have Madred's Razor and a boot, so he will clear the jungle very easily once you get that claw, and the speed will definitely help with both control and gank. Zilean is coming top lane. I'm not sure how low Tryndamere is. He's probably healed up. He isn't using a health pot right now, so he should be okay. Nocturne did run out, so Lee Sin should be able... No, they're taking his red right now. So Nocturne and Zilean did take the red. They saw them on the wards and recognized that was a possibility, and didn't really get down there in time. So excellent job with jungle control. And Lee Sin, you know, so far has been almost non-existent this game. And early level ganks aren't the most common, and you really don't depend on them as a team. But that's really what Lee Sin's strength is. The first, you know, 20 minutes of the game, that really aggressive play. Nocturne is ulting in on Brand. The bombs did go off. I would not be surprised to see Brand die from the bomb here. The shield from Lee Sin probably just barely saving his life. Nocturne gets out, Zilean gets out. Everyone's kind of happy right now, but you see, Brand is at 200 health, so he probably would have lived without that shield, but I'm not sure how leveled up that shield is. Everyone's kind of comfortable with farming right now. Not a lot of aggressive play. Junglers tend to be the catalyst, and an unsuccessful engage on Brand, though very close. They did burn his flash, so that, you know, is taking control. You have seen that Curse is in control of the jungle for the most part right now. You know, and Lee Sin hasn't really been able to get the ganks off that he had been hoping for, I would imagine. But they did CV Lee Sin. They saw he was low and that he had to heal, so I'm a little surprised they're not coming and being aggressive on this dragon. They know that Brand is sitting at low health. Zilean's fine, bot's fine, and you see they are actually going for this dragon now. The Soraka heal, or the Soraka disconnect was the catalyst, so they will get a free dragon here. There's nothing that PG is going to be able to do about it. Irelia throwing a ton of damage off onto Tryndamere. He didn't have to use his ultimate, but he is very low, and Irelia is definitely taking control of the lane right now. Really, as Tryndamere, in order to be successful, you need to be allowed to auto-attack those creeps and the enemy champion, and she's really doing a good job of kiting him and then throwing damage whenever he gets too close, and then also her, slow/stun, so that he is not enjoying himself right now. Fairly even game from the farm. Again, you see that mid lane is not a very strong farm lane at all. They're both, I'm not going to say they're underfarmed, but not nearly as much as anyone else in this game, and that really bodes well for Zilean, more so than it does for Brand. Brand is out farming Zilean, but Brand needs the farm. He needs the damage output. Irelia is attacking Trynd, and Trynd is attacking back. They're baiting in. The Lee Sin with the kind of neglectful Q. A lot of times you want to kind of hold your Q, but they are able to get this kill. Oh, Irelia with the great stun. She's very close. She does go down. A little surprised to see Lee Sin wants to be throwing those long-range Qs when they're slowed. You can just walk right up, slow them down with your E first, and then get the close-range Q, and it's so much easier. But they are able to pick up that kill. That is very good. Help Tryndamere get control of this lane back. Anyway, back to mid. Brand really needs the CS a lot more than Zilean does. Zilean, he is very valuable with the farm and can contribute well to teams. However, his biggest contribution is his ult, and it's, just the fact that people are reviving is the contribution. You don't need farm for people to revive. Yes, it scales with ability power for how much health they're going to come back with, but for the most part, Brand is completely reliant on all of his damage, and you see he throws off all of his damage, like I said earlier, but Zilean can just throw her ultimate and be perfectly fine. She did try and revive, though, and Lee Sin is going to come in. He gets the easy Q off Zilean with the flash. Lee Sin blinking after her with that Q. She is just barely out of range. He's going to get another Q, likely, if he can hit... Oh, he flashes in, but he is able to get the kill with the flash and the attack, even though he missed the Q. So Zilean, trying to be aggressive, recognizes that Zilean can throw off that ultimate and then throw down damage on the Brand and not worry about dying. Well, the issue there is when someone else comes in to disable you, like Lee Sin. Zilean, a little bit careless, should have just run back, instead wanted to proc the ultimate, because it is only on a 7-second duration. And as a result, he was kind of immobilized for a second while he was respawning. And because of the lack of the jungle presence, really, and also the aggression of this bottom lane, they are just pushing down this tower. It will probably go down in the next couple of minutes. Just a little engage from Nocturne, and very quickly this tower will go down. Irelia throwing off her ultimate, getting off that regen. Tryndamere spins away. He doesn't want to have to use his ultimate, and Irelia was still very high health at that time. So, throwing off some good damage is good, and her ultimate is down if he can be aggressive during this time. But she is definitely at an advantage as far as health and damage output. He does have some crit items, so he's really hoping, to maybe get some lucky hits. And Brand throwing down some big damage, Zilean throwing down some big damage, kind of taking back control. You see, all three lanes for Curse are being very aggressive and pushing into the tower. Lee Sin does slow down Irelia, Trynd slows down Irelia. Lee Sin's able to get in there. He throws down his slow. He's chasing after her. She's kind of trying to kite him in the bush some. And we see, oh, that was a weird graphical thing for a second, but they are able to chase down Irelia and get that kill very easily. So again, another death for Irelia. You really don't want to be feeding Tryndamere, especially when your team is doing so well early in this game. Throwing off some good damage, being a little bit too aggressive, Alistar walks into one of those traps underneath the tower. But because of the general lack of the jungle presence, Curse has been very aggressive about pushing the towers, getting those towers lower, and then also preventing an easy farm from the enemy team. But now you see Lee Sin is starting to come out. He has been top twice in the past couple of minutes. So he is starting to get out and be aggressive, and now this kind of positioning from Curse is kind of hurting them. They should be okay bot from a Lee Sin gank. Dragon should be spawning about now. They don't have vision to see if it spawned, but they did the Dragon at around 8 minutes, so it's almost certainly up right now. So we continue to look at the farm. Nocturne, let's see, I believe he's top lane. He is top lane. Lee Sin is able to spin away and is perfectly fine. If Bot had a little bit better control, this would be a good time to go for Dragon actually, but Lee Sin isn't the easiest jungler to take Dragon. I'm still not sure if it's up yet or if it's still hidden in the shadows, because it should be up by now. As we look at the farm, we see that pretty even game. Top lane is dead even in the farm, but Lee Sin does have a gold for 5, whereas Irelia did go for the early Wriggles. So Wriggles is really to own your lane, and Tryndamere has control of this lane right now, doing an excellent job against the Irelia. Vayne is beating Caitlyn bot up by like 40 CS, so definitely a strong advantage there. They're chasing down Soraka, but Soraka's going to be fine. She probably didn't have to use that flash. She could have sat in and done some damage. Chasing down Caitlyn, throwing off a ton of damage, and Caitlyn just barely able to get that last hit. You saw it was actually a proc from her passive because she doesn't have any ticks anymore. So that last hit with the 1.5 times damage was able to just barely get the kill. If Soraka could have been a little bit more aggressive there and thrown off some of her own damage or baited Vayne a little bit longer, so it wouldn't have necessarily been so close, but definitely a good job there. They are able to pick up the kill top against Irelia yet again, and they will be able to take that top tower. Zilean trying to chase in, get that one last bomb. That's all he needs, one bomb onto that brand. But, you know, definitely taking good control of this game. Vayne has been winning bot lane very strongly. She is up by a lot of CS, but that kill there helps them pull back even, and as a team, they're just really, you know, killing-wise and farm-wise, ahead of Curse right now. It's actually probably pretty even because Curse did get the Dragon, but they are kind of showing their might right now and, you know, standing up against these, you know, this really competitive team. They do know that 3 are top now, so they should come down and get this Dragon. Soraka should be tanking it. She's not. She's going to let Caitlyn tank it. Actually, Caitlyn has Bloodthirster, what am I saying? So Caitlyn can tank it very easily. Nocturne was about mid, but Nocturne did ult onto Lee Sin up here, so they are okay. I was going to say, if he had gotten to mid, he could have been ulting down at this Dragon. So they will take this Dragon. Lee Sin does die, but taking control of the time when the enemy is all up top, they know they can get that Dragon very easily with Soraka heals and with the lifesteal, and so they are able to take the Dragon and take a further gold advantage. Alistar does have an Oracles, so he's going to want to clear the map, get the back map control, because right now, that's kind of where they're losing. They don't have as much map control. They did early on, but they don't have as much map control as PG does right now, and it is really hurting them. Irelia is chased off by Tryndamere. He is starting to get very strong. You see, he does have a BF sword, is very close to some very big items. And because he is out farming Irelia very quickly into this game, they're going to have to start worrying about his damage output. And the damage, great damage going off from Brand onto Zilean. He's probably down around 300 health. He does pop the ultimate, and Zilean does go down with that ultimate. Can Brand get the W? No. So Zilean will be okay. Brand will also be okay. He was very low, so he didn't want to get the extra double bomb. But one thing that's great about Brand versus Zilean is if he does force that ultimate and Zilean goes down, if he can get his cooldowns back up, then he can just throw his Cataclysm, you know, his Pillar of Flame actually, on top of Zilean where the body is, and just have it automatically stunned and automatic damage when Zilean respawns. Lee Sin jumping into the creeps for no reason whatsoever. I'm really not sure what he was thinking there. And Alistar will flash in and get this pulverized. He is going to go down. His flash is down. Oh, but he throws the Great Ward over to the Wraith, and Vayne flashes after him and will pick up this kill.